The base truth that you have to embrace is that even the most spiritually mature people have quirks and faults. And so, as everything's great when it's great, but when things start to get a little rough or there's conflict, you remember that everybody has a certain level of, have their weaknesses and their strengths as well. And you try to keep your eye on why you're doing what you're doing, that you're there to do ministry to people and to not elevate any one person higher than they should. You understand that you're working with people. People have flaws, you have flaws, and the goal is to minister to people, to show them Christ. And if you keep that in mind, it's easy in those points of conflict, whether it's parents or a senior pastor or some other boss or even the teens, you realize this is a part of why you do what you do. This is what we call Tuesday or Thursday. This is just another day where maybe it's rough, but you're trying to do the ministry of Christ. I think one of the advantages of working in a bigger church is that you're forced to delegate more. You're forced to rely on more people, a broader range of talents, which is also, it's an advantage, but it can also be hard if you're coming from a really small church. And I've worked varying churches. I've worked medium churches and I've worked small churches. But when you work in a small church, you tend to do a lot yourself. And that's something you can't do in a larger church because you burn out in 2 months. So you learn to rely on other people. And that can be something that's challenging, especially if you have a little bit of an ego, to let go of that and let other people use their strengths, and ultimately you're better for it. You have to build a team, you have to communicate with them, and that's hard for a lot of youth pastors. Our gifts tend to be in certain areas, and that's usually not one of them. I know that's a cliche, but we tend to be very relational, tend to be very hands-on, and so the sitting down and planning out, you really have to, a lot of us really have to work at that. You got to look out 6 months, a year, maybe even longer, start to plan out, some of your skeleton events and start early. Because if you're calling up people 2 weeks out for a major event that doesn't get received very well very often, you do have to think things through a lot. That is a big deal with a team. And it's also, you look at it like you're honoring their time by including them in the process. It shouldn't be just a one-man show anyways.